Today we're going to be making some beautiful Christmas DIYs that you can use as decor or you can give them away as gifts. My name's Crafty Kathy and I'm so thankful you're here. Let's jump on in. On the first DIY, I'm going to be using this wood slice that I got from Temu. It's 10 inches. And then I've got 2 of these candlesticks that came from Dollar Tree in the $3 section. And then I also have this plastic reindeer. He was gold and I've spray painted over him last year black, but he chipped a little bit. So I want to get him nice and fresh. I'm going to take him and the candlesticks outside and paint them with my Rust-Oleum 2 times in the matte black. The best way, I think, to spray paint anything like these candlesticks is to start off with them upside down, spray them with the black, let it dry, and then flip them over and spray it again. However, I'm going to use this copper rose. While these are still wet, I'm going to do that technique where I just kind of mist over it very lightly. I know you can't see my hand, but I'm kind of doing like a rainbow, almost like a rainbow pattern with my hand, and just letting those particles of that spray paint kind of fall on where I want it to fall. If you get too much of that bronzy color and you want to kind of cover it up some, just grab your black spray paint and kind of mist it also and let it just cover it up to your liking. The only bronze color I had was that one called Copper Rose, and I was at the very bottom of that can, and it sprayed this big blob on his bottom right there, and I didn't like that. It was just too much, you know, in one area. So you see, I just grabbed my spray paint, my black, while it's all still wet, and just kind of misted over it until, you know, I was satisfied. And Lord, please excuse this mess out here. It looks like daggum Granny Clampett and me out here spray painting on the top of a tote. But you know, I'm real. I love the way that these pieces turned out. And guys, these are from Dollar Tree. And that reindeer is from the Dollar General last year. I think he was only about $3 because he's plastic. But I'm going to show you it don't matter. You can make the most beautiful centerpiece or whatever you want to call this, and nobody will know. It's so pretty. I'm going to take some of my Rub and Buff, and it's the antique gold color. I'm just going to put a little bit in an old plate. I'm just going to use the tiniest, minuscule amount. You can barely even see it. This stuff lasts forever. And I like to use these foam type brushes when I'm putting that Rub and Buff on. It seems to help it. I'm just kind of going around to make it look like I'm just, you know, kind of haphazardly putting on that gold color just here and there. No place particular. I do like a lot of gold on the antlers and at the bottom of the feet. I first started on these trees going, you know, in a upward motion, and then I realized when I went in a downward motion, all of the beautiful bristles of the tree just popped out, and it was so pretty. And so I kind of went around and did that, and once again, I'm just going around the top area, the bottom area, just kind of making it look like I just haphazardly put it there. I like to start off like light with the Rub and Buff. And if I'm really digging it, which I usually am, I'll go ahead and add more and add more. Because you can always add more, but it's always tough to take off, you know. So it's best just to go in little increments. And like I said, this stuff lasts forever. You see what that tiny little squirt was that I used, and it's covering this whole area. The next thing I do is grab 2 of those circle-shaped floral foam from the Dollar Tree, and these are hard, but they're just fine because for what we need it for, it's going to be perfect. I couldn't fit both of them on there without it sticking over the edge of my wood slice. I didn't like that, so I just cut a little piece of the side off. You're not going to be able to see these when it's all said and done. So what I'm going to do is just cut that piece off, and then I'm going to glue these 2 pieces down to my wood slice. This is super easy, and you won't believe how beautiful this comes out. Now, I don't edit out the stuff that I change or whatever because, like I said, I'm just real. I don't know any other way to be. And I don't want you guys thinking that I'm a perfect crafter and that I never change my mind. I never make mistakes because, honey, that's funny because I'm just telling you, I change my mind like I change my drawers, and I change them pretty frequent, you know. So here, when I first started, I thought we're going to make this snowy because we want to cover up that floral foam above all, you know. So I'm just kind of going over and adding a little bit of this polyfill because I wanted it to look like, you know, snow. But the biggest thing is I was wanting to cover up that doggone foam. But I didn't like the way that polyfill looked. It just looked really fake to me. And I mean, I know it is fake, but you know what I'm saying. I just didn't like the look. So I grabbed some of my moss, my Spanish moss, and I get this at the Hobby Lobby because that stuff from the Dollar Tree, I don't know if it molds or what, but it stinks so bad and I can't stand it. So here's what I was saying that I left the party in. I remembered, hey, I've got to set those candlesticks on this. So what I did was just kind of made a clearing in the middle. And I added the floral foam kind of around the edges. And I added little bits, little tiny bits of that polyfill because I wanted it to look like snow in the woods, you know. And then I had to add some other things. So I just wanted it to look right. Here's where I realized that those candlesticks just was too much. And I'm just going to put the candles up there by themselves. I took this candle ring or candle wreath, whatever you want to call it, and I cut it in the back, and I'm going to kind of drape it around the front. If y'all remember, I got that at a yard sale back in the summer, but it originally comes from Hobby Lobby, and I just put the little cardinal on that candle ring. And I'm putting little pats of glue underneath the deer's feet so that he will be stuck down. I put all of it together just so I can step back and see if it needs anything or needs anything taken away. And I realized that one of my candles was just too short, so I put a wood slice down to give it some height. I'm going to add this pick that I got from Walmart for $1.28. I just felt like we needed something underneath the deer. And so what I did was kind of fan it out really good and slid it right down underneath him. And it fits so perfect with that candle wreath. It just looks like it's one piece. And I also grabbed little pieces of that polyfill. I used the tiniest amount just to fill in little areas where I could still see the wood slice from the top. You know, just to cover it, to make it look like little drifts of snow all in the woods. I grabbed my Pentart snow paste. It's one of my favorite things that I've been using as a crafter this Christmas. And I love the way that it looks when you run it over the pine cones. It's kind of thick and not goopy, but it's just kind of hard to describe what the consistency is. It dries perfectly, you know, it doesn't shed or anything like that like glitter does, but it's really thick and it's nice and it looks exactly like snow. So what I did was just run it over the pine cones and then I ran it over just some of the greenery to make it look like it had a snowy appearance. I showed this piece to my husband and he suggested that I maybe put a little bit of glitter or something on the antlers. I didn't really want to, but I thought, well, I can change it if I don't like it. I'm going to use some of this crystal paste that Lori sent me from Milton's daughter. If you guys want to try any of these Pentart products, she also has the IOD, the DIY paint. A lot of the craft supplies that I use come from Miss Lori over at Milton's daughter, and she is amazing as a store owner. You guys would love her. I leave her information in the comments and down below so that it's easy to find. I applied that crystal paste with my finger on the antlers and added some of my favorite glitter, which I get at Amazon, and it's in my Amazon store if you want some. I'm going to add this bottle brush tree to the very back, you know, kind of in between those two candles. And I had to cut it off at the bottom so that I could get the stem to stick down right in that floral foam. And what I did was just add a little bit of glue back there and also pressed it down into that floral foam so that it would stick really well. Now, the only thing that this piece is missing is some more lights. You guys know that I love to light up all of my creations. And I love these lights. I get them off of Amazon. They are in my Amazon store. And 16 of them come in a pack for either $12.99 or $14.99. And I use a lot of these. So what I'm going to do is make sure that the little switch to turn it off and on is in the back. And then I wound it around in and out of all of the little evergreen pieces and all around that tree. And these have a wire on them, so they're really easy to kind of push back in that evergreen where all you can see is the lights. And they're so beautiful. They also don't get fried if you want to put a little bit of glue on it to hold it down in a specific spot. And I just went around this whole piece twice. And then I'm going to glue the little battery pack down on the back with the screws facing outward in case I ever need to change the batteries out. I felt like my deer needed something around his neck, and I couldn't find anything that I was satisfied with. So I took this ribbon. I think it's about a 2.5-inch ribbon. It was just too thick. I cut it in half, and I wound it around his neck almost like a scarf. And then I just put some glue where it needed to be to make it kind of look like a little scarf. I cut off the excess where it needed to be cut at. And then I felt like it needed something right in the middle part of that scarf. So I grabbed it's little tiny pine cones and red berries. It came from Hobby Lobby in a pack of several, and it was only like $1 or $2 when it's half off. I stuck that right in the center. And the very last thing I did was add this large bell in the front. It just looked right. And I hope you like this one. The next DIY is going to be a very simple wreath. I'm going to use one of these. It looks like a big bottle cap or like a tart pan. It came from Dollar Tree. And then I'm also going to use this wreath form that they call the bicycle wreath form from Dollar Tree. And then this is another one that I actually changed in the middle. I was going to use this wooden ornament looking thing that came from the Dollar General. I think it was $2. It's very pretty, and I almost used it, but I decided in the end not to. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this floral foam, and it's another one from Dollar Tree, the harder floral foam. And I used a screwdriver to make 4 holes in it because we need to attach it to this wreath. And you know that hot glue and metal don't really like each other, so we're just going to use zip ties to make sure that it's good and secure. All I did is zip tied it to those little spokes in all 4 of the holes. I took that little bottle cap outside and I spray painted it black with my Rust-Oleum Ultra Matte. And now I have a bunch of these cedar picks. They came from Amazon, and I think there was like 100 of them in a pack. I have so many of them left. What I'm going to do is just go all the way around and just place them in that floral foam. I also have a bunch of these picks left over that's a different type of evergreen. So I'm going to go through, I believe these are pine actually. I'm going to go through and stick those just kind of sporadically all around the wreath also. And then I had about 6 of a different pick. I think it may be fir. Now, I don't know my evergreens, so don't come after me. I just know that they're pretty, and they're all 3 different ones. So I went around and added those. And then I had these 2 picks that have these red berries on them. I placed those in there and kind of spread those out. Now we're going to put our little bottle cap on. And isn't it pretty where it's black? I was going to attach it with the zip ties or what I call tie wraps, but it just didn't look right. You could see the tie wrap. I didn't like the way it looked, so I just used some floral foam, and all I did was put it through those 2 little holes and flip it over and just twist it, and it stayed on there perfectly that time. When I got my bottle cap secured on there, I realized that those red berries were sticking out too much and you could see the brown stem. And so I pushed them in a little bit. And when I stepped back and looked at this ornament, I just didn't like what it was doing for me. I loved the black with the white, but I felt like we needed to try something else in the center of that bottle cap. I'm going to use some of this rice paper that my friend Brandy over at the DIY Struggle actually creates and sells on her site. I will leave it in the links down below. I think she's out. I mean, look how beautiful this is, and it's a great price. So, but I'm still going to leave the information. What I did was just kind of pushed my piece of rice paper down and felt with my hands, and it gave it an indentation, and I went around with the X-Acto knife and cut it out. I pulled it apart, and we're going to secure this down with the glue stick. And you guys know that I love to use glue stick to do my decoupage. This is a permanent glue stick. It's an Elmer's glue stick. And you really need to use permanent because if you use the washable ones and this ever gets wet, of course it's going to come off. Here my camera died and I didn't even realize it, but all I did was trim it out with some velvet ribbon and add some pine cone. And I hope that you like this. Sleigh bells are ringing out by the sea, sending a message of love and sympathy. I've been waiting by the phone, and this song will meet you at the door. This Christmas will be something unreal. Baby, I'm falling under your charm. All I ever wanted, got you wrapped up in my arms, and we'll stay up. The last one is super simple and easy. I feel like all of these have been easy, but this one really is. We're going to sublimate on this 100% polyester shirt. This is a P&G that I got off of Etsy for $1.30, and you guys are absolutely going to love it. All you do is you just straighten up your shirt exactly where you need the image to go. Now, I do have a sublimation machine here at my house, and that's how I made this. I bought the picture off of Etsy for $1.30 and printed it out on my sublimation printer. I used to sell these sublimated pictures to people, but I haven't done that in quite a while. But I do want to show you guys how I made it. I put some parchment paper underneath so it's not going to go through to my pad. And it says, "Have a holly dolly Christmas." I love this P&G so much, and I just can't say enough about it. It kind of speaks for itself. So what I did was lay it down. You have to have your image mirrored. And this one it printed really weird, and it had this extra stuff on it. It had like two faces of her on it. That's why it's cut strange like that. I'm going to get some heat-resistant tape and just put a piece at the top and a piece at the bottom. It's just going to hold it still so it doesn't shift around. Then all you have to do is set another piece of parchment paper down, which I totally forgot to do until the last. And then I have my Cricut on 385, and I'm going to press this for 45 seconds. I love doing stuff with my sublimation machine because it's so bright and vibrant. And sublimation is like a gaseous process, so it's not wet. It can't smear, anything like that. And I could wash this shirt probably 1,000,000 times and it looks just as good as the day when I made it. So after my 45 seconds, I just pulled it up, and look how beautiful the queen is. The last step is to flip my shirt inside out and put my parchment paper back over it again, and just do that for about 30 to 45 seconds because they say it makes the picture even more vibrant if that's possible. I liked this PNG so much that I decided to make a short sleeve shirt too. Now this one is going to be on 100% cotton shirt. I didn't have any more polyester, but I wanted to show you guys the difference. You saw how vibrant that was with the polyester, and they say to use at least, I think it's 70% polyester. You can use like a blend or whatever, but it's got to be at least 70% polyester. But you know, I'm a rebel, so I try other things. But with this cotton shirt, I'm going to show you how it came out. It comes out on the cotton just as pretty, but not as vibrant. And I hope you like this one. I hope that you like my shirt. I can't believe I got the print off of Etsy for just $1.30. And I'll leave the store down in the links where I got that, so in case you guys want to try it. You know, it's been quite a few years since I have modeled professionally, but it's kind of like a bicycle. You know, you just never forget your moves and how to do it. And even if you don't like it, I've got this gorgeous pug here, and he is modeling an Aldi sweater, and I think he does a really good job. I hope you guys have an awesome Christmas. We love you. I just want to thank you guys so much for coming and stopping by my video and spending a little time in crafting with me today. I hope that you enjoyed all the DIYs here, and like I said, you can use them as your own decor or DIY, or you can gift all of these. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to our family yet, we would love to have you, and we always have room. All you have to do is hit that little red subscribe button down on the bottom right hand, and you're in the family. There's a bell beside it. When you click that bell and the word all, YouTube will let you know every time that I put out a video. My videos right now are normally every Monday and Thursday at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll see you in the next, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Did you know that if you're on an iPhone, you can just click on my face right here and be subscribed to my channel? You sure can, and I would love for you to do that. If you want to see another video, all you have to do is click on it right here, and when this one's finished, it'll take you right